Good evening everyone, I'm Jim the IT Guy. Welcome to my office in glorious Cornwall. With everything that's going on at the moment, I find myself with a little bit of free time now and then to actually do some little side projects. And one of them is a new firewall for my second HomeLab. The price now of second-hand enterprise firewalls is coming down to such a degree that actually the hardware is quite actually good value as a HomeLab firewall, and can't recommend anything better than the Sophos kit. You can grab second-hand a Sophos XG series firewall off of your choice of marketplace. I get mine off of eBay for not a considerable amount of money. Reload them with the Sophos XG series firmware, and away you go. You have a fully functional enterprise grade firewall. Prefer it vastly over things such as pfSense, OpenSense, mainly because it's so much easier to use, and it's fully featured. And the best part of it is, bar the cost of the hardware, it's free. Can't complain at that. Cheers to the guys at Sophos for actually doing this. It's actually nice that they provide you with the exact same software that runs on their XG series appliances for free for home use. It makes it perfect for lab use, which is why I use it in mine, which is why I sell it as an IT guy. So yeah, why not? Anyway, onwards. So getting started is incredibly simple. I'll include all the links to the stuff I used in this video down below, but the basics of it are: number one, this video is going to be based around repurposing an old SG appliance, which I do have sat here. I'll show you that in a minute, and reloading that with the relevant software, getting it up and running, and just getting it configured, ready for use in whatever environment you should choose. Onwards, as they say. As you can see again in the background here is the actual Sophos XG Firewall Home Edition page. This link will be included down there. So it's literally go here, click get started, fill out all this information, and what will happen is Sophos will email you a serial number which you will need later on, and once you've got that, I would go to the second link, which is to the Sophos community, which will get you into the XG version 18, which is the version you want now. This is their latest version of the firewall software. And go down to here, and you want to download, if you are repurposing a software appliance, or a hardware appliance I should say, into a home appliance, you want the software load, which is this one here. As you can see, we have this is the hardware download for if you actually have a genuine XG hardware appliance, or if you're using a licensed version on an XG. You have the Hyper-V instance here, KVM, VMware and Zen instances for running this virtually, so you can run this as well in a virtual environment. Works very well. Run it myself in environments like this, run it for customers. Again, works very well. The home license limits you in the physical and virtual environments to 2 cores and 6 gig of RAM. Now, for most people, that's more than adequate. You're not going to exceed the throughput of a system like that with these devices. But you never know. If you need more than that, well, maybe you need to look at what you're actually filtering in a home use. Maybe, as I say, works fine for what I need it to do for home, and again, gives a good indication of working with firewalls in the real world as well. Anyway, once you have downloaded if you're doing this for what I'm doing. Download the ISO using good old Rufus. You then need to burn it to a USB pen. As you can see, I've got this all prepped ready. I've got my USB pen in my machine. The only thing to make note of is you need to write this as a DD image. Make sure you do that, otherwise nothing happens. So there we go. Anyway, I shall get this writing. Away it goes. And we shall continue on once it's written and get it loaded up. And this is a Sophos SG230. This was purchased off of eBay. This is a SG230 Rev 1, which means this is a Pentium dual core with 8GB of RAM. And as you can see by the pretty flashy LCD screen, it's still running the original software. You can see up there, that's the original Sophos SG series software. And currently it's basically at factory defaults. Now, there is an additional step that needs to be done on a hardware appliance, and that is that the hard disk needs to be wiped before use. Otherwise it has a whinge. And quite simply, as you can see, there's a keyboard plugged in already. I have a USB pen, and for the eagle-eyed among you, that is a Bitdefender USB pen. I know, Bitdefender USB pen in a Sophos box, but that is only because Sophos haven't sent me any. Hint, hint. Anyway, that is all it is a Windows installation, because all I want to do is clean the disk. So we can restart the machine. Yes, I am sure. This, unfortunately, is one thing that you do lose with the home license. But, oh well. And what we will see is something very strange, which will be Windows 10 booting up on a Sophos Firewall. Not that strange, actually. It's only an x86 PC. Or an x64 PC, I should say. As with a lot of hardware firewalls, they're only PCs. There we go. Pentium dual core, 8GB of RAM. Oh look, Windows 10 logo. And the unit still says rebooting. Got a LAN cable plugged into the Mac, and a WAN cable plugged into my other XG in my HomeLab Mark 1. Again, nice and simple. Shift and F10. Disk part. Go with the good old list disk. Got a 128GB drive in this one, as you can see, and a 32GB USB pen. Select disk 0. Clean. That's that bit done. Now a quick pop pen out, put it out the way, get your pen that you've imaged, get a suitable poking device, insert pen by doing the good old USB shuffle, poke reset, watch screen. This is how easy it is to reload a Sophos SG hardware appliance into a Sophos XG software appliance. Yes. It doesn't take long, he says. If it does, I'll cut and then I'll come back to this.
A few moments later.
Yes, this is the noise that you get, courtesy of... Yes, it does make this noise after you have reloaded it. As you can see, it's not very exciting, but that is what happens. And once you have the pretty music playing, you can take out your pen with the image on it, press Y, press yes. Oh, there we go. Press Y and return a few times. And as you can see, after this reboot, we now have Sophos protection, which is all you will get now. And here we go, booting on the initial configuration. And once it has booted, and hopefully we'll get a nice password prompt, we can then configure it. First boot completed. As you can see, this unit is a 2-core still, 8 gig of RAM, 6 interfaces and 120 gig. That's it booted. Now once the unit has booted up and you've gone to its default address 172.16.16.16 on port 4444, you'll get presented with the good old-fashioned security risk, which we can accept that and continue, and you will be presented with the Sophos XG startup wizard. First things first, and go in a bit closer on this. We'll ask for a password. Which I will just put one in for the time being. I think I might actually get it right. We accept the terms and conditions. Up to you. Again, this is the latest firmware, so no real worry about installing that. We can give our firewall a name. Jim, the IT guy 2, as this is my second firewall. Next. And this is where it asks for a serial number. Now, as you can see here, you get a few options. Obviously, if you followed the instructions at the start of the video and got your serial number from Sophos, you just input it in there. You can choose to start a trial. If this was an upgrade from an SG, you can upgrade it, or you can opt not to register right now, which will put you on a 30-day trial as well. But just so people are aware, once you enter in a home license into here, the first thing this unit will do actually is to reboot, which I will just show you. Let's see. I am obviously not going to show you my license because I might want to use it somewhere else. But be assured, this is a home license I am typing in, as I do make use of them occasionally to test stuff. You put your license in, you click continue. And what we should find is over here, as you can currently see, it says 2 cores and 8 gig of RAM. What should happen is the unit will reboot. There we go. And it will actually downsize itself once it's gone through here. Booting back up again. There we go. And as you can see, we've still got 2 cores, but we now only have 6 gig of RAM available. This is the limitation on the home license. Now back over to the configuration after it's booted back up again. And you may have to refresh the page and quickly run back through the start of the wizard, but as you can see, this evaluation will run out probably, well, I'll be dead before that runs out, let's put it that way. So there we go. You can now fill in the basic LAN information. You can select which of the ports you would like to be port 1 or your main LAN. Again, 2 different modes. You can have this in root mode or bridge mode. You can set the default IP address, and if you need DHCP on, you can leave it on here. If not, you can turn it off. Click on the continue. Yes, I want to protect my users. Yes, I want to protect them from suspicious things. Scan files that were downloaded and send some stuff to Sophos for Sandstorm. Not that I don't think the home license has a license for that, but it's always worth enabling all the things. You will need to fill in an email recipient. I'm just going to fill in gobbledygook at the moment because I don't need this to stay working for long. And you will need a 12-character password for the backups, which again, up to you how complex you wish to make it. And there is the configuration summary. And there we go. Just leave that configuring. And then it will give us our logon window. And you can go in and start configuring your Sophos XG Firewall. Now, logon screen is up. Let's see if I get my password right. Indeed I do. And there is the Sophos XG dashboard. And that is a Sophos XG running on Sophos SG hardware. Hopefully this has been useful to some of you. Please feel free to comment below. These are videos I do as and when. Any feedback is always gratefully received. And as ever, please like and subscribe. It's appreciated. I don't do this too often, mainly because at the moment things are a bit hectic. But we shall see. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. Please watch some of my other videos. Again, any comments, always gratefully received. And see you soon.